What's up, everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'm here to share with you my January wrap-up. Now, if you haven't seen it, I also did a January mid-month wrap-up because I didn't want to do a whole wrap-up with tons of books at the end of every single month. So I had broken it down to a mid-month wrap-up and then pretty much an entire wrap-up of January, so the remainder of the books that I have read after my mid-month. So these are the rest of the books that I read in January. So let's get to it. I read 3 manga that were gifted to me from Jira, who is just an awesome person and a great friend, and I just can't believe that she got these for me. But I read volumes 4 through 6 of Blood on the Tracks by Shuzo Ishimi. Hopefully I'm saying the author's name right. I'm sorry. But I believe I gave all 3 of these at least three stars. This is getting really interesting. It's really dark. It's making me want to know more about not only the son, when it comes to the mother and son relationship, but also the mother. I want to know more about the mother. I want to know why is she like this? Like, where is this coming from? You know, was it something because from her upbringing, or what is it? So yeah, I just been intrigued about it. So here is volume 4. Here is volume 6 and volume 6. Volume 4. I skipped volume 4. This is volume 5, and it's volume 6. It's been a long day, y'all. Give me a break. But yeah, I read all 3 of these and I gave these 3 stars for each one. Looking forward to seeing what happens next in the next coming volumes. So yep, so have this. The next book that I read, which I'm doing a live discussion on the 11th of this month of February. I've been thinking about if I wanted to do a book review or not. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll see. So here it is, Fatebound by Sarah Al-Arafi. This was obviously my favorite author. She's my autobi author, of course. I read her other series of, that's her trilogy that is going to be ending, I think, in either August or September. And yeah, so this was an autobi, and I loved this book. Like, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, obviously, and I loved it. I love the world building. I love the character building. I love that we are seeing elves and we are seeing fae. I liked it, and it's nothing like any type of book I've read when it comes to fae and elves. And I like that. I think it was a breath of fresh air. I liked where there's a lot of magic and more about Fatebound, more about like diviners that can see the future, prophecies. And the 2 main characters that are in this book, we have Yirin and we have her little sister Lettel, and we have Ryan, who's also another main character in this book, and they're pretty much discovered that fae exist. They thought faes didn't exist anymore, and they happened to Yirin happened to do something in order for her to like even become part of the fae world, which I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But if you like fae and magic with a little bit of love interest, this book is for you. But yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I cannot wait to have this live discussion with a lot of my members. And if you've read this book, or if you're picking this book up now and you want to like join us in the live discussion, it will be live on 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my channel, and we're going to be talking about Fatebound. So definitely keep an eye open for that, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you do not miss it. But yeah, the 11th is also on a Sunday. So I thought that would be an easier way for Sunday, because Saturday, I feel like everybody be out. People want to enjoy, their weekend. So I feel like Sunday would be a better day. So we're going to be discussing this book on the 11th. So here is this. The next book, which I read, and I loved it, gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I have to give my props to Mel from Tomb Raider, Elise's, Bree from Bree Reads. Y'all know who y'all are. We've been reading the books together. We've been having our read-alongs, and y'all talked to me about this book over and over and over again. I finally read it, y'all. And so I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and that is The Will of the Many by James Islington. This man, where, you know, the main character is called This, but we then figure out what his real name is. His, like, how he was an orphan, then became adopted. There's motives about the hierarchy. Oh, and about his family who were murdered. Like, oh man, this book had me on a roller coaster. There's some death in here, which I don't mind, you know. I don't mind a little bloodshed, you know. But this was really good. Now I understand why a lot of people loved it last year, and it was one of their top reads of 2023. And I'm ready for book 2. That's all I can say. That is all I can say. I am ready for book 2 because I need to know what happens next. I need to know, like, right now. James Islington, if you're watching this, which you probably aren't, but just in case you are, your writing is magnificent. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for this. Now keep going and produce us the second book. I'm ready. I'm ready. But yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and I absolutely 100% loved it. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for pushing me to read this. Appreciate it. The next book that I read, which I believe I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, which is recently just came out, and this is part of the Wayward Children series, and that is Miss Slate and Parts Half Known by Shannon McGuire. I've started reading the series last year, that ended up reading the rest this year and finally caught up, and I like this a lot. I like the progress that the stories are leading to with all these different children, these different choices. Like, I'm enjoying it. So I want to see what Shannon McGuire has next. I know there's going to be another book coming out. I know that the Wayward Children series isn't done yet, just by how this ended and how all these other characters are. Yeah, something's going to come. So I'm really excited to get in to see what Shannon McGuire has in store for us for the next book. But yeah, I gave this a 4 to 5 stars, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Next book, 5 out of 5 stars, and I did a book review about this particular book, which I'll leave up above so you can check it out after you watch this video. But we have Beasts of War by Ayana Gray. I'm not going to say more because I want y'all to just watch my review. I have an in-depth review. I not only did a review of this book, the third and final book of the trilogy, but I read the other first 2 books, of course, and I did book reviews for them as well, which I'll leave them up above. This book speaks for itself. The series speaks for itself. I really enjoyed the outcome of this book. It was just magnificent, especially when it comes into unity and coming together for a common cause and a purpose, which I really enjoyed. So definitely check out my book reviews and you know, see what's up with this series, because you don't want to miss out on this. This book, the third book, just came out recently to finish up the trilogy, so definitely look up this book for sure. But we have Beast of War, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The next book, which took me forever to read, and I enjoyed it. I think there were some things that definitely could be improved, but I enjoyed it. I believe I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars for this, and that is Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn. I know a lot of people are not huge fans of Legendborn, which I get and I understand. I know for me, when I read Legendborn, I think I just had a connection with Bree, who is the main character, because I know it was not really realistic. But just where I was when I went to college, based on my major, which I was a history major, I was the only black person in my class, period. And for a moment, I felt like, even though where Bree's location wasn't realistic, but I felt like I connected with her because I had gone through that, where I'm the only black person in the room. Now, the whole college, I can't speak for the whole college because there was black people at my school. It was just my degree that I was going for. Yeah, I was the only black person. So with that, I had a connection with Legendborn, and I think that's why I loved it so much. But this, I enjoyed the history when it comes to the magic, of magic being borrowed, bargained, or stolen. I know Bree was going through a lot with her ancestors, especially with her ancestors pretty much had stolen magic or bargain magic. It was just a lot, and she had to break down for a moment, which I get. She was also angry with her ancestors, which I get too, you know, especially since I consider herself young, you know, like she's still trying to get into everything. She's still trying to understand everything. She's still trying to understand her ancestors and her ancestors' actions. So it is what it is. But I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was really interesting, and I do like it. So I think I'll continue on reading this series just to see what happens next and what progresses. But yeah, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars for Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn. The next couple of books, the next 4 books are picture books only. And I read these to my kids and they rated them all 5 to 5 stars, mind you. So we read More Than Peach by Belen Woodard, which was really good. My daughter loved this particularly. She had picked this one night. And it says, Changing the World One Crayon at a Time. And it's also illustrated by Fannie Liam. But yeah, my kids gave this a 5 to 5 stars and they loved it. The next picture book, which my son picked this, it says Everything You Need for a Treehouse. This is by Carter Higgins and Emily Hughes. And literally after we read this, they were like, we want a treehouse. And I'm like, we don't really got strong enough trees for a treehouse, but maybe one day, you know, we can have an imaginary treehouse or something, or we'll create one, but just not in a tree. You know what I mean? But my son loved this a lot. And of course he rated this a 5 to 5 stars. So we have this. The next book, which I read to my kids because I really thought they would have loved this, I read Homegrown by Deanne Wiley. This was gifted to me by one of the publishers, which I thank you so much for this. About family, about a young girl being with her grandma teaching her to cook, how her doing her hair, all that good stuff. Like, I really had a fun time with this book. I think my daughter and my sons, they all 3 appreciated every single moment of this book, especially when it comes to talk about sleepovers, cousins, friends, about doing chores, getting dressed. Like, it was just a fun time. Doing your hair, like, it was awesome. But yeah, so we all agreed that we gave it, you know, it's a 5 to 5 stars. So yeah, so we gave this Homegrown 5 stars. The next one, which my kids enjoyed, I think, getting to know more about Ketta Scott King. And so we read Ketta, the autobiography of Mrs. Ketta Scott King. And this is written by Ketta Scott King with the Reverend Dr. Barbara Reynolds and illustrated by Equia Holmes. So yes, we have this where it breaks down more about Ketta and her upbringing, her background, who she was prior to being Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife, and her being an activist and continuing her work. Like, it was just amazing. And about her being a mother. And so we all, of course, agreed 5 to 5 stars. And this was just a fantastic book. And this book was also gifted to me from the publisher. But yeah, that is it. Those are all the books that I read for the remainder of January. They were all great reads. I didn't have any disappointments, which that's great. You know, I had one huge disappointment, which I'll leave up above. I expected a lot more, but that is it. That was my January reading wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. And don't forget to hit that like button as well. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you are staying healthy and staying safe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye, everyone.